Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, and welcome to Throwback Thursday. Look what we got behind us today. This is a 1964 Triumph T120R. And the reason I'm pointing out the fact that it's an R is because this beautiful bike has a companion bike here at the shop, which is a 1964 T120C. C stands for competition. This one has no headlight. All the non-street stuff's been stripped off. Look at the exhaust. There's no mufflers. This one has, let's go back to this one. We'll get back to that one in a minute. But just look at this beautiful thing here. Just an absolutely gorgeous example of one. I had a, I think it was a 67 Bonneville years ago. And I was too young to really appreciate what I was riding. So now in my more advanced years, I look back at these with great fondness. When I think of a beautiful classic motorcycle, these are exactly what I think about. This absolutely gorgeous Triumph is it, I think, as far as that goes. One of the best looking motorcycles out there. So what is it? Well, it's a 649cc overhead valve, air-cooled twin, parallel twin, about 8.5 to 1 compression. Has two Amal 1 and 1/16 carburetors, and I did the math on that. It comes out between about 27 millimeters, so I have to call them a 26 or 28 or whatever. But anyway, gorgeous. They're supposed to put out anywhere from I read 46 to 52 horsepower, depending on how they're tuned and what magic's been done to them. There are all kinds of options you can do to upgrade the power on these cams and heads and just all kinds of neat stuff. Carburetors. These are Amal monoblocks, by the way. I don't know if I said that earlier. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing, isn't it? I mean, just look at this thing. Wish I had a little more room in here, but anyway, the transmission. This is a unit engine. The first year of the unit, I think, was 63. This is a 63 here, I believe. Yes, that's a 63, and that's a unit already. This is a, oh, quite a bit older. That's a 47. This is pre-unit. See how this transmission is separate from the engine. But so 63, I believe, was the first year of the unit. Let's see what year this one is. Sorry, guys. That's a 63 Bonneville also. But anyway, we're getting away from our target bike here. Single down tube, brazed lug frame. The had telescopic forks on the front. I couldn't find a diameter to those. One thing I did find interesting was they talked about, and oh, you can feel it. Underneath these boots are springs. So they're exposed springs on this, area here underneath the boots. And then of course this bike has a single leading shoe brake. I think it's an 8-inch. Let me look here. 8-inch single leading shoe, full pads, full width pads for maximum cooling. Rear brake on this was a 7-inch. And you can't see it. Of course you can see, well, we'll get back to that in a minute. Tires were 3 1/4 by 19 on the front, and 4-inch by 18 on the rear, I believe. Yep, 4 by 18 on the rear. Gas tank was about 3 gallons, 11.3 liters. Wheelbase on this hot rod, 54.5, and that's a beautiful number for me. That's 1,403 millimeters. Seat height, and I found a couple different numbers on seat height. I'm going to go with this one because I think this one's accurate. 32.5 inches. That is 825 millimeters. So that seems reasonable looking at this bike when it's on its off its center stand. The ground clearance is about 5 inches, which is 127 millimeters. And the big number, and this is a really important number, 363 pounds. When this bike came out with its 40 some odd horsepower or whatever it was, this thing weighed 363 pounds, 165 kilos. So it was a real roller, and T120 means, Triumph 120 miles an hour is the idea. Would it go that fast? I don't know. I'd like to know. And this is a real beauty. I don't know. Anyway, it's got, I mean, it looks like it would. It's sitting still, looks like it's going 120 miles an hour. It's just an absolutely gorgeous machine. It's got the gold, or this version of gold, and then the Alaskan white. And this year, I think this was the first year of this kind of a stripe system. Maybe I'm wrong, because that one has it over there. But anyway, I think I'm wrong about that. But look at this stripe, gold stripe here, the Alaskan white, the black pinstriping. Now going back here to the tank, you know, we've got the gold here, the white, Alaskan white, very little amount of Alaskan white down here with the black stripe right here. Now that differs a lot from the 63. Notice here, this goes all the way over here, all the way to the knee pad. It doesn't jump down. It's got a different cover here, slightly different. So quite a bit of difference really from this to that. This one also has solid colored fenders. I don't know if that's because of a repaint or what, but anyway, very, very beautiful, very beautiful. Has the package rack, which a lot of people took those off. The flat, you know, gas cap there, you know, that's kind of a Triumph trademark. My Bonneville T100 has that flat gas cap, and you know, just kind of a neat trait. Of course, the pea shooter pipes. You know, isn't that just gorgeous? Spoke wheels, of course. Everything had spokes back then, pretty much. Let's see, what should we focus on here? Let's talk about the engine. So we talked about this last week a little bit. You can tell it's a 650 because of the distance between here, the nose on the motor here, this cone nose. Let's see if there's a 5. Yeah. See, this one does not have that cone on the front, where this one does. The angular head shape of the head, and then of course the fins on the rockers here. And then Bonneville, it's got 2 carburetors among other things. Beautiful pipes. Just everything about this is just gorgeous. Oil tank right there. You know, gray top seat, the little lining. Let's look underneath this seat if I can get it open. Sorry about that. Okay, that's where the battery would go. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, what a well done job here. Return line for the oil. I'm not sure what that is. If you all know, post below. Just gorgeous. Air filter right there. You can get a better look at the carburetors. I like it. I like it a lot. Very well done. Just a beautiful example of the bike. I think Girling shots. Just beautiful. Chain cover. I always talk about the brakes. You know, I'm infatuated with those for some reason. The microelectronics of its day. Watch that. When you hit the brake, that's what turns the light on the back. Little rocket-shaped adjuster right there. There's the chain adjusters. And isn't that just a beautiful thing? I just love the way all this looks. The more modern case here. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. The idea was with this thing here, the stay was you could unbolt that and use it as a kickstand if you got a flat so you could work on your tire. Isn't that just gorgeous? I think the bike I had was a 67. I can't decide if it was a 67 or 68. I can't really remember, but I think it was a 67 because I do remember it had a single leading shoe brake. And I think it's 68. They went to the double. But just a beautiful, beautiful machine. Show you the tags here real quick on this one. That would be the tag. You guys always want to see these. So it's a Bobby Sullivan Resto. There's a tag price and all the information on it. Baxtercycle.com if you're interested in it. Let's go up here and look at the just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Just absolute classic looks. Look up here at the dash. I think this was the first year of the magnetic gauges. I believe these are still Smith. I can't find. It says RMS. I don't know about that. SSR. But yeah, Smiths. These are Smith gauges. But I think these are the first year. They're not chronometric anymore. They are magnetic, both tack and speedo. And if you need work on your Smith gauges, smithswork.com. They do all kinds of service work, and I'll put the URL here. Anyway, amp meter down there. Over here, it's the horn, no battery, so it won't honk. Probably the high-lows, and I'm saying probably because I'm not sure. Clutch, of course. Mechanical brake on this side, adjuster right there. Sometimes there's multiple adjusters. Oh, look, you can adjust this bottom one right here. I'm assuming a dampener. Isn't that just gorgeous? Just absolutely beautiful. So well done. And look at these knee pads. Wow, I got kind of a feel to them. So these were supposed to be lightweight, relatively powerful, very good handling. They're supposed to be the best handling bikes of their time. This was a super bike in its day. You know, if you wanted the fastest bike around, you'd get something like this. And they were a little cantankerous. They were known for being, you know, you have to work on them and do things with them. And that's how old, I've got an old, you don't want to hear about that, but I got an older bike and it needs constant love every time you ride it. That's how these bikes are in a lot of ways compared to the more modern, you know. One of the big advantages of a modern bike is, well, anyway, just gorgeous thing. It's kickstart only. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, let's jump over to the C. And the C, here's the tag for that one. Baxter Cycle Triumph 1964 T120C, $650, and there's the price for it. And so the first thing you notice, doesn't have the rack, only has this tachometer, and some of them didn't even have tacks. Looks like, I'm guessing that's a kill switch, but I don't know for sure. No headlight, none of that's there. It's got these aluminum fenders, and that was one of the trademarks for this model. You know, if you got the aluminum fenders, and then the pipes, the straight pipes. There may have been other things that they did to these. I don't know what that would be. Quite honestly, I'm surprised it has a center stand. This one has a bash guard. I don't know if that was original or not. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look how well they've done that. You know, jumping into these motors, you know, parallel twin, so 1 cylinder, 2 cylinder, oil. I don't know how the oil got up to the top, but here's some oil lines here to provide oil to the rockers. And then those would drain down, that oil would drain back through these tubes onto the cams. That's the tack drive over yonder. But isn't that just, to somebody like me, this is just heaven. I just love this kind of thing. And this is such a good example of this kind of stuff. Isn't that just beautiful? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So that's the C model. Tank paint is about the same. Well, the pattern's the same for sure. The slightly different color, I don't know what that's about, but really neat thing. So 64s, the Bonneville, just absolutely beautiful models. These are the 63s over yonder. Yep, these are 63s. And then let's jump over here real quick because I'm going to show off a little bit. This is the one we did a video on. I think it was last week. I think this is a 65. It's got the blue line here now. And some other differences, I'm sure. It's just a beautiful, beautiful bike. And that's the 2005 tribute bike or clone bike or whatever that they made to match this one. Just a beautiful thing. Isn't this just a wonderful shop? There's our Model C T120. If you are a British bike aficionado of any type, this room, this magic back room of Baxter Cycle is somewhere you should want to visit at least several times in your life. Not just once, but several times. They've got everything back here. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's like I come here twice a week at least, and I'm always blown away. The stock is always changing. You know, some things stay the same, but some things are always changing. Here's a 1964 T100. Kind of the same paint scheme, the Alaskan white and gold. Just a beautiful place to be. Baxter Cycle is the largest, I believe they're the largest vintage British bikes parts supplier in North America. They've got warehouses of, well, of anything you could possibly need. If you need help with your project, need a whole new British bike, need help with your project, need advice, give these guys a call. They can help you out. All right, my friends, if the weather's great where you're at, get out there and ride. Wahoo! Hey, a quick addendum. Call Baxter Cycle, email Baxter Cycle, get a hold of Baxter Cycle. Tell them you want us to ride these bikes during these little Throwback Thursday videos. Let's petition them for that event, huh? Wouldn't that be nice to hear these hot rods running? The weather's getting nice. At least get them, you know. Anyway, do that for me. Wahoo!